What's good, Cowboy Crazies, and welcome to episode 8 of How About Them Pod Boys. An absolute tough game to jump into and talk about from Sunday Night Football. Flat out, let's call it what it is. What is a tie? Why are we giving out ties in the National Football League? Your favorite co-hosts are going to dive into that, talk everything that's Cowboys football, talk about what a crazy game it was, first and foremost, and just kind of my expectation of the game overall did not match what actually happened for the game. So thought I saw a lot of positives, some negatives, obviously a lot of things to clean up, especially on the defensive side of the football. But want to bring in our co-host right away and just kind of get your initial thoughts on a wild night on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, I mean, just another stellar performance from the defense, am I right?
Yeah,
I
that's the
mean,
best
I
thing. We look like the best team out there every week.
saw a stat today that says we got the most yards on offense and the most, I think, yards let up on defense. I don't know. There's so many question marks and spots we need to fill on defense, but we can get into that later. Initially, my initial thoughts are just, man, what are we doing with Dak's career? Wasting it away. I mean, I really have never taken this guy for granted since 2016. He just continues to show that he's a top three QB in the league. And the way he played, he controlled the game. That last drive, that drive where, and years ago as a kid, I dreaded because I knew it was going to end in a game losing interception. So just seeing that drive flawlessly, the heart wasn't even pumping that much on that last drive because I knew he was going to get it done. Um, and then shout out Pickens, man. What a breakout game for him. Really took over the wide receiver one role with CD being out. And then just Javante pounding the rock, doing what he does best. And just guys coming up when we need them, like Flournoy, Ryan coming up big with a couple catches just to move the chains, or Tolbert keeping his feet in on that deep bomb by Dak. It's just everyone played their part last night, and except for the defense. I mean, defense, no excuses there. We are the worst defense in the league.
Yeah, it's crazy. Absolute, you hit the nail on the head of just talking about Dak Prescott wasting his career. Like, we're 10 seasons in now, and we haven't supported him more than maybe 2 or 3 seasons with a consistent defense. But what are we doing? Like, we're just going to continue to trot out the same guys week after week in the secondary and think something's going to change, because it's baffling to me that I thought our scheme and game plan was a little different, at least. Like, we made some changes, right? We were talking about that. We sat Diggs to start the game. We had Bland back, right? And I thought to start, we're like, okay, it's going to look a little better. Well, no, it takes 2 plays into the game, and we have 2 receivers, not one, 2 receivers beat our corners deep,
Wide open.
wide open. So I'm like, well,
Oh my
nothing's
gosh.
changed on our back end. And for us offensively to impact the game the way we do and still look as solid as we do in the NFL, or in the, basically, I think we're a top 5 offense for sure. I think we are ranked number 1 on offense and ranked number 32 on defense, like you said. But to still have the impact on offense when we know consistently the other team can score in a minute or less is what shows that we're actually not that far away from being a good team. If we could just be the number 20 ranked defense, I'm not asking to be the top 10 ranked defense. Just give us something that's average out there on that side of the football. And we
Right.
had a million chances to snag that game last night, get back to 2-2 after a bad performance against Chicago. I would have been feeling amazing to come out of that game with a win on a huge night that had all the theatrics and all the storylines behind it, and we controlled it on offense. Like, we did our part.
Yeah, I mean, there's you if you put up 40 games and I mean, excuse me, 40 points in the National Football League, nine times out of 10 you're winning that game. Like, our defense is just killing us, and this could be the reason this game right here, one that we don't drop, but we technically drop because it's not in the W column. It could be a reason we're not getting in the playoffs this year.
Right, and that's going to absolutely kill me because we're going to have to fight for a wild card seed. Like, nobody's passing Philadelphia in our division. Hell, I don't think anybody's passing Philadelphia for the number 1 seed. That team is a juggernaut team. Like we talked about last week with Baker Mayfield, I was hoping he was going to take him down. He played a pretty dang good game, and it still wasn't enough. But back to us is just like, this tie is something we're going to look back on and be like, we had not 1, not 2, but just 3, 4, 5 chances to put that game away, and our defense consistently let us down, and that's just what hurts. Like, all we needed was 1 stop. With 43 seconds left in the fourth quarter, we had just taken the lead, and I was like, yeah, I feel pretty good. I think this is going to be the one time we get a stop. And no.
Yeah, it's the constant letdown of having hope but knowing our defense can't get it done for us. So Eberflus, he's got to go. We need to make some additions. I saw Tariq Woolen's on the block for Seattle. Why not go get a Pro Bowl corner for us, right? Why not go get a piece or two? It's going to absolutely help when we get Overshown back. I mean, that's going to be huge. But then Malik Hooker goes down at safety. Go get a safety. Go get a vet. Go get someone that wants to play. I mean, I just don't understand. There's nothing that on defensively that I liked. We
No.
forced 1 turnover, right? Great. And that really helped us boost us that second quarter to take the lead on a half, and all momentum was going our side, but there was not a glimpse of a good showing on defense. And I'm tired of seeing Jack Sanborn out there playing football for the Dallas Cowboys. The guy is so slow, has
His
no
angles.
run stop instincts, has terrible angles. He just is not a good linebacker, and yet we start him. And guy plays
Mm-hmm.
80% of the snaps, so I don't know.
Well, and also breaking it down even further on defense, like, if it's 3rd and 20, we're guaranteed to give up 15 plus. It's like we just sit there and be like, we'll tackle them. But we haven't consistently proven that our linebackers can chase anybody down. Our corners are just completely lost in our scheme. And I know we tried to play a little more man than we've played in the last couple weeks, but that didn't work either. So, I mean, just all together, we're lost on the defensive side of the ball. And like our main point of this whole discussion so far is it's just wasting a great year from a great quarterback in Dak Prescott. Like, looking at his stats, he was on top of his game, right? He was high completion percentage. He was tearing apart a defense that's supposed to be a top tier defense in the league, right? And their
Right,
defensive
right.
line gets all these notions of, oh, they're right after the quarterback immediately, right? It's hard to, get comfortable in the pocket and pick them apart. And Dak picked them apart like an MVP. I mean, I truly thought last night, we've been boosting him up and talking about how he's a top tier quarterback. Well, he showed last night that he can put up numbers against anybody, right? He's down CeeDee Lamb. George Pickens now takes over the number 1 role. He makes George Pickens look like he's going to make, the Pro Bowl this season and he could be any team's number 1 receiver. And that's the same George Pickens that, his last couple of years in his career for the Steelers, they were wondering, oh, is he a locker room cancer? Well, it looked like he was having a
Right.
hell of a time playing for us, right? I would take that guy any day of the week. I
Right.
like him.
And that's
I
not
like. No, go ahead.
that that's not a shot at Pickens at all. It's getting him into the right system where he can play freely and really make the stunning catches that he does week to week with that sideline catch that really put us in position to score 6. So I mean, it's no hate. It's no hate. We love Pickens. I want to re-sign him after this year. I want to extend him. I love the energy he brings, the fire he brings after he makes a great catch. So I mean, and Dak having a real quarterback now people really see who George Pickens is. He's a wide receiver. He's a wide receiver 1.
Yeah, no, George Pickens was phenomenal, off the charts, topping over 150 receiving yards on the night. And Ferguson came up with some big catches throughout the game. He's just kind of that security blanket we've talked about for Dak Prescott. Javonte Williams had a good night on the ground for us in crucial moments to continue to, move the chains, give us a second chance in the drives, and can just continue to sustain drives. And I felt like as a whole, there's not really one piece. Yes, we're missing CeeDee Lamb, and when we get him back, that's going to make this juggernaut of an offense even better. but we're not missing anything on offense right now. Like we don't need to make changes on that side of the football. It's just unfortunately you can't continue to be giving up 30 plus, 40 plus in this instance and expect to win games. Like you just can't expect your offense to score 40 plus to win a game. It's not reasonable. So like we're saying is just give us average. I don't want top 10 defense. I don't even need top 10. Give me 20th. And then I'd like to work it up into the top 15. But if I truly think we have a top 20 defense, we would be contending for the NFC East title because we saw how we played even against Philly in that first opening night. But I know we'd make the playoffs, and then you make the playoffs, you give yourself a chance. So it's just a little discouraging to now see we're 4 games in and the defense has not improved at all in any aspect of the game. As a whole, I just think we're going to continue to go this way until, like you said, we make changes.
Yeah. And mind you, also, we did this with 2 starting O linemen out, CD Lamb out, an all pro linebacker in my eyes that's on the rise, and just a juggernaut of a secondary. So it's like when the pieces come together and we start firing in all cylinders, you want to be playing your best ball at the end of the year, but you got to set yourself up to be good enough to be able to play that ball in November and December, all the way up to January. And then, the goal is to get to February. So, I mean, I'm just so discouraged by the defense, and I need some sort of change, some sense of shift in the defense that really lets us fans know that, hey, like, we can compete and we're going to hold our own.
And I think the change we need to see is, like you said, I think it's run its course, right? We're a month into the season. You have to get rid of Eberflus and just say, hey, cut ties. It didn't work out. We're going to go our separate direction. And then the second move I need to see made is just go out and give people a chance. Go get seasoned vets. I know they're on the tail end of their career, but run them for 1 year. Just sign them for the remainder of the season. If you really like someone, sure, maybe give them a 2-year option. But if we don't make a change, then we're almost telling our fan base, and the Cowboy crazies that are out there, that we're just wasting a season. And we can no longer continue to waste seasons where Dak Prescott's playing at this high of a level. Because if we just throw away a season, that's basically telling him, hey, we don't care about your future with this franchise. And it's almost telling him that it's run its course with the Dallas Cowboys. And we cannot afford that because he's playing at such an elite level. To me, this is the best he's played in his career. He's done it now for 4 games where he's looked solid. And that's with having to get right back on the field. You know what I mean? When the defense is giving up a touchdown 10 seconds after you just went through sustained a great drive to give us a chance to win the game. So those are the 2 main changes I think we need to see now at this point, because like I said, we were a month in, this is who we are on the defense side of the football. So we can no longer say, oh, it's just a bad matchup or it's just playing a really good team. Nope. Everybody's lighting us up and we're making every quarterback look like, it's the best day in the office for them. So those are the 2 changes I want to see.
Right. And it's really go time. I mean, we have the same record as the New York Giants. I mean, we have the same amount of wins as the New York Giants. Like, if that doesn't tell you something, it's time to go. Jerry, make a move, please. We are begging you to piece something together for this defense. Make a move.
And I'll tell him this. I'll lace him up and I'll try to give a better tackling performance than Trayvon Diggs does out on the field. I mean, watching him try to even go near a ball carrier is abysmal. Like, yes, he made 1 tackle, and I will give him, it was probably the biggest tackle we needed him to have there in overtime. But up until that point, he's almost running hand in hand with the ball carriers and just trying to stay out of the way. And I'm like, dude, you got to have a better effort than that. Like, you're paid millions of dollars to at least bring a guy down once every 3 times. Instead, he just runs alongside him and almost is blocking for them is what he looks like he's doing. And I just can't believe it. So, Jerry, I'm here. I do this podcast for the Dallas Cowboys, for the nation. I'll lace him up. I'll throw
He'll
my
do this
body
shit
on the
for
line.
free too.
I will. I'll do it for free just to get my name and my face out there. I don't care. Just put me on the field. I'll give my effort. I might break bones every single snap, but that's okay because I'm putting my life on the line for the Dallas Cowboys to succeed. I just want us to succeed. That's all I want, right? I don't
Oh
want to. I don't want
God.
to live another year not watching us win games and be capable of what we're capable of doing. So, um, I love our initial thoughts on the game. Let's go over obviously the big one, right? Huge storyline going into the game. Micah Parsons returned to Dallas. It started off in the week. Jerry Jones kind of came out and he kind of stirred the pot a little bit. You know, I'm sure you saw the comments. Social media was going all over it, talking about how, you know, we had Micah, right? And Jerry Jones in a roundabout way said, well, even having him didn't lead to us getting the wins we needed to get. So, kind of your thoughts on obviously him stirring the pot, and then let's get into Micah's performance on the night and what we thought.
Yeah, no. And Jerry's one stubborn man, but he doubled and tripled down on everything he said. I mean, he didn't. But is he wrong? I mean, when Micah was here, did we stop the run? Did we make it past the divisional round? No, we didn't do any of that. And as good as a player as he was for us, he didn't do anything last night. Let's be real. He had two half tackles going into the fourth and in overtime, and he made one good play when he really needed to. Like, because if he didn't stop Dak on that scramble run, I mean, we would have hopefully won the game, and we would have prayed the defense got a stop. But I mean, oh, a sack, that would you even count as a sack because Dak was damn near at the line of scrimmage. So it's just I think Jerry, as much as I hate to say it, he does know what he's doing. I just wish he would make a move sooner to let the fans know that he is in control and that there is some movement behind the scenes that we don't know about. But that doesn't come until the days actually come and we can get all the insider information we want. But Jerry's going to do whatever he wants and whatever he feels is necessary to in his eyes boost the team. So I mean, we have the draft picks. I mean, this is the biggest trade since Herschel Walker, and we all know what happened after the Herschel Walker trade. So, I mean, I trust in him. He's only got a couple more years, but we'll see what happens.
Right. Well, no, and like, you know, one of the best things you said is Jerry Jones doubled and tripled down on his remarks, and the only winner really last night. I know there was no true winner on the teams, and both teams tied, and both franchises are leaving. You know, a little upset about what could have happened, and felt like they left some points on the board or chances on the board to win the game. But if you're Micah Parsons, you cannot leave that game last night feeling good at all. Like you played poorly. Yes, he had the sack, but he brought Dak down at the line of scrimmage. It was recorded as a 0 yard loss sack. But I think they did that to kind of fit the narrative, you know, give him that one and say,
Right.
oh yeah,
Exactly.
Micah picks up a sack in his return. Yes, he kept him out of the end zone. I get that. But on that play, if you really break it down, there's two linebackers crashing down. I don't know if Dak gets in. I'd like to say he does because he's, you know, a dog and he put his head down and run through anybody to get in the end zone. But Micah Parsons, we got rid of him for that reason, right? We had success running the football at Micah all night last night. Started with Javonte Williams. Miles Sanders had a few cracks at it before he went out with an injury. But Jerry said that, right? You can run the ball at him. You can scheme at Micah Parsons. You can dictate a game plan at going at him in the running game, and that slows him down in the passing game. And I felt like we put ourselves in a good spot as a franchise to show our fans why we made that move. Because if you have Micah Parsons last night on our side, not a lot changes. I mean, it really doesn't. We saw what Green Bay's done to us in the past. They put up 40 some points in that divisional round playoff game at our place. They would have done the same thing. They would have ran right at him. We ran right at him, and we really just showed why that move. And Jerry looked like he was crazy, was probably a blessing in disguise, in my opinion. You got rid of some money off the board, um,
Right. Right.
just for a guy that's not going to take over the game. So I wasn't really that shocked by the lack of performance, you could say, in Micah Parsons, because I've seen that one too many times. Unfortunately, we've gone to big games in the postseason, big games you need to win in the regular season. Sometimes he is hit or miss, you know? So I'm just glad as a Cowboys fan today we can relax, right? We can exhale a little bit. That was the big thing. I just didn't want him to come out and have like a 3-sack performance and just completely annihilate the offensive
Right,
line. So
right.
I feel a little better about where we're at today than I think Green Bay and Micah Parsons can feel at today.
No, and I agree 100%. I feel like it was just a typical Micah Parsons game, though. I mean, he was he was in the game, right? Causing maybe a couple pressures, gets hurt, right? Has to go to the tent, comes back. You know, it's just a typical Micah game. I mean, he's had games where he's really changed the game, and he didn't yesterday. And let's be real, he wasn't a factor. He wasn't a key player to the game. He did nothing. He did nothing to contribute to a tie. Yeah, I mean,
Enough said
in
about
the
it,
long
really.
run, right? In the long run, and we're over it. I mean, he's quite honestly, he wanted to be a Cowboy for life, and I think everyone knows that. You go down, it's what every time he gets talked about, who is he referring to? The Cowboys, Jerry Jones, Cowboys, 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 Cowboys. Dak's over it. Like, yeah, you were on our team, but I mean that showed last night. If he had any fear of Micah Parsons, he wouldn't have put 40 points up on their defense. And he did exactly that, and he was cool, calm, collected, no turnovers, 300 plus yards, a rushing, passing TDs. Like he played lights out, and I just love the mentality from Dak there.
Absolutely. And, you know, another shout out I'd like to give is, I mean, having our backup linemen in there, they held their own against Micah Parsons and this pass rush. I mean, my expectation going into the game was that we were going to get eaten alive on the offensive line just because we were inexperienced, right? Having guys step up and probably, quote unquote, or on the paper, the worst matchup we've had to this point against a superior defense.
Right,
The Eagles on opening night could be one too, but those are the best two nights we've had as a team, right? So I think we're playing up against competition that we, you know, maybe shouldn't be, and then unfortunately we've played down against a couple bad teams. So I don't really know what to expect, but you know, my final thoughts on the game is we did what we needed to do to get out of there with a win. Unfortunately, we fall short and get a tie, but we feel better today than Green Bay does, especially with the Micah Parsons trade. So, uh, looking forward to, you know, our next game and in our chance here to go on a little bit of a high. Right, we play the New York Jets next, and we actually travel to New York for the Jets game, I believe. You have to double check me on that one, but
yep, I
moving.
got you. I got the schedule pulled up right here. Actually, just I mean, going into October 19th, we could be sitting at 3-2-1. We got the Jets away, Panthers away, and then we'll get the Commanders at home October 19th. So I mean, we got the Commanders. So excuse me, we go Jets, Panthers, Commanders, Broncos, Cardinals, Raiders. Get the Eagles again, Chiefs, Lions, Vikings, Chargers, Commanders, Giants. So there's a chance to go on a little run here and get some momentum. Um, with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 games left. If we get 8 of them, how do you think? How do you think we're sitting division wise?
I love it. I mean, you just have to give yourself a chance, and that starts with this first 3 games that we're looking at. And the Jets game is an absolute must win, right? They could also still be coming in winless to the season at that point. And the bad part is we can't really say much more. We have 1 win. So like that's a game that you have to absolutely get done. The scary part for that game for me, just to touch base on these games coming up, is Justin Fields a little bit with his scrambling ability. We saw Jalen
Right,
Hurts take over on opening night against us, and we had a lack of a quarterback spy. So what I want to see is have a quarterback spy on him every single play. But here's the bad part, right? We talked about how poor our linebacking core has been playing. Who do you quarterback spy on him? Because if they're not fast enough and going to take an angle, we can't leave them on an island and expect them to break down and tackle him in the open field. We're just going to be asking for, you know, a bad situation to unfold and him to continue to move the chains and give the Jets a chance to stick around in a game that they really shouldn't compete with us in. So that's kind of my key to the game is we have to have a quarterback spy on Fields. And then I think offensively, if we just play how we've been playing, we'll have no problem moving the ball against them. And I'd like to see Sauce Gardner get burnt over the top a couple times with George Pickens. So that's kind of the matchup I'm looking for on offense.
Yeah, I think you got a great sense of what the Jets bring on the table, and that's Fields and his number one target Wilson, and then his scrambling ability. And this is just for some elite ball knowers here. CJ Goodwin at the QB spot. If you're a Cowboys fan and you don't know who CJ Goodwin is, you're not a real Cowboys fan. So I mean, I could see that being a play for him. He could definitely have a bigger load in practice this week, and hopefully put into a scheme that is actually run and perfected. That hopefully defensively we have put something together for this New York Jets offense that is nothing more but average, right? I mean, we can all agree on that. And then offensively, I mean, it's our guy. It's got to be Dak showing up, going to work every day, and getting it done. So, um, I mean, this is one you have to go get. There's no excuses. Um, there's no what ifs, right? It's go get a win in New York and come back home.
No, 100%. And that'll set us up for success. We got to go get the first one, right? Before we put a winning streak together and get two or three down the
Mhm.
line. So, like to see us build confidence, especially on the defensive side of the ball. This is the time we have to make those changes we talked about. This is the time to go get it. This is the time to put us, back on the map as an average defense team that can help our offense continue the success they're having. So, heck of a week. Unfortunately, Sunday Night Football was resulted in a tie. Last thing I want to jump in, I kind of forgot to say this earlier in this segment, and then we'll talk around the NFL from this past week. Why doesn't the NFL adopt the college football rules for overtime? Like, I'm not talking about starting your possession necessarily on the 20, but here's my proposition for change in the NFL is I think Roger Goodell needs to adopt after the 10-minute period. Let's say that Green Bay just went down, did the exact same thing, scores at the buzzer and ties it. Then I think that why can't we go to alternate possessions at the 20 or the 10? I don't care where you start it, but just do alternate possessions, and then whoever doesn't score wins, right? I mean,
So
both
you kind
teams.
of want to adapt to like that college look almost,
Yeah, a college look with it, but I think you still are started out the same way, right? A 10-minute period flew by. Like that was the fastest 10 minutes of the entire game.
right? Right.
But it just seemed like it went so quick that we touched it once, they touched it once, that was it. I mean,
Game's over.
so what I want to see is like let them play the 10 minutes out, okay? Because if you're both good enough, you both score, well, you're back to tied. But then if it runs out, why not adopt? Because it's not going to take that much longer. Start it at the 15, the 10, and both teams get to touch the ball. If it goes to a second overtime, like college does, you have to go for two. You're going to find a winner. You're going to bring more viewers. You're going to bring more people to watch the game. They're going to be locked in. They're going to go, oh man, 40-40. Like who wouldn't have watched the game last night for another hour? I would have watched it. I mean, instead I had to go to bed mad and be like, oh, do I feel that great about this? So that's kind of my proposition for the NFL is find a way to not let awesome games like that end in a tie.
Yeah, no, I love that. Awesome. If you tuned in on Pat McAfee show this morning, they kind of talked about that too. Pat's proposition like involved a little more kicking, and then
Well, of course, for the
just some
brand, like he loves
yeah,
the kickers, the
and then
punters.
some of the other fellows chimed in. I know Ty Schmidt, a little Waterloo native baby, he's right here in the
Shout
Cedar
out
Valley.
Ty.
Shout out Ty, but he's like, what if we just get to the? Because someone, I think it was, I don't know who it was, but they said, hey, what if we just put someone at two fastest guys, make a tunnel, just race. And then Ty goes, or we get the two largest guys, get them across the field, baby, 100 yards, fastest wins the game. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Dude, and then you know what's funny about that? I know we're laughing and joking about it. It never happened, but we have Cavante Turpin. We're probably winning that
Yeah,
race.
exactly. And they brought that up. They said the Turpin right there, baby. So I mean, I would love that because I feel like Turpin does to anybody. Like and another one that came into my head, like this is just imaginary land, but imagine it's Turpin versus Worthy for
Ooh,
like a Super Bowl. Like just a Super Bowl, like that would be insane. All it comes down to a race, like
Super Bowl,
that'd be
Super
wild.
Bowl, Super Bowl on the line, and the Lombardi Trophy is in the end zone. First one to dive and go get it, and gets to bring it home. No, that'd be
That'd be
sick.
crazy.
That would be sick. So, no, that was kind of our segment on the Dallas Cowboys. We're gonna, you know, switch strides here and go to our second segment. Um, but another great week in Week 4 around the NFL. A lot of high quality matchups. The first one I'm going to kind of talk about was actually the early game for some of those early risers. Maybe some people didn't even catch it early in the morning. The first
Oh,
NFL, the
that
first
Viking
NFL game to
Steelers.
be played in Dublin. The first regular season NFL game to be played in Dublin between the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are now 3-1. That's kind of a team that I talked about when they made that move for Aaron Rodgers for his last year in his career. And he's kind of putting them back on the map, right? He's giving them a chance to go out and make that next step. They have a quarterback finally with all their weapons they've had over the last several years. They surrounded him with great weapons on the defensive side of the football. They brought in some vets on that side of the ball that have played, that know the scheme and just flat out play hard, right? Like when you bring in a guy like Jalen Ramsey, he has an impact on the game, right? I loved, I'm going to point out my favorite play of that game from Jalen Ramsey. He's taking a ball back for a defensive score, and he fakes the hammy pull and then hits the gritty in front of Dublin, and the crowd's just going nuts.
Yeah,
Um,
nah, he's a great defensive player, and he's made plays, game-winning plays for them each week. I think I've seen like the Jets game-winning tackle that loosens the ball, and then that touchdown. Like he's a great impact player.
100%. And that was an awesome game to start the NFL Sunday. Any games that caught your eye from this past week in Week 4? Obviously, a lot of good ones just all around the NFL. Maybe some surprises even. I mean, there was a few teams that came in as heavy
Yeah.
underdogs. Some teams battling with hurt, key injuries that kind of dictated some of the games. But what'd you see and what'd you like from this past week?
No, there's so many games, man. I mean, like I can start it off with the Chiefs. Like, are the Chiefs back? I mean, they absolutely controlled that game against the Ravens and really looked like the dynasty that we've been seeing the past years. That was a great one. I can kind of touch base on the Rams too. Um, does this mean the Colts aren't really a team that we should look out for anymore? Or is it just the Rams, came prepared, had a great game plan, and really took care of them? So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. And then I got to throw out the team that's on a winning streak now with a blocked field goal. Shout out the Bears. Just absolutely a game that never has gone their way in the past, right? A game that's always a Chicago Bears heartbreak loss. They get it done.
Yeah, no, and I'm going to go back to those 3 games. I love every single one you brought up, and I do think it's the turning of the tide back in their favor for the Chiefs, and it's another game where the Ravens have not stepped up to their full potential and beaten teams that they're going to have to get through in the postseason, right? We saw them have an absolute collapse in Week 1 against the Buffalo Bills, right? And that was at Buffalo. So then you kind of give them a pass a little bit. You're like, okay, opening game for them. Unfortunately, fall short in a game. In a game that they absolutely should have won. But now they go to Kansas City, and Patrick Mahomes puts up 100 on him. I mean, it felt like he could score at will. He threw for 270 yards and 4 touchdowns. Got Worthy back, right? And he looked awesome, looked phenomenal. Right back into his full stride, 5 receptions for 83 yards. But it's not a good look for Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, especially when I know it came out with a hamstring injury. Got a buddy
Right.
that's a big time Ravens fan, but to me, it looked like he just took himself out of the game and was like, I want no part of this beatdown anymore. We're not coming back. I'm going to rest the rest of
Keep
this one out.
keep going. Yeah, keep
No,
going.
he did. I actually lost a little respect for the former MVP. He was sitting on the sideline after throwing his helmet. Don't forget, he comes off, throws his helmet, uh, and then just rests for the rest of the game. Says, you know what? I don't want to play Kansas City. I've seen this story too many times. They're better than we are. We're not beating them. So I'm going to take myself completely out of the game. So terrible look for the Ravens. Chiefs, I do think, are back. They're going to continue to catch stride. They got Worthy back, right? And they're going to get Rashee Rice back in a few weeks after his suspension. So he's only got, I believe, 2 more games that he's got to sit out. They're only going to get better. Patrick Mahomes is going to be Patrick Mahomes. You have him under center, you have a chance to win. So I like that take on that one. Jump into your second one, Rams and Colts. Matthew Stafford looked awesome again. He looked like an MVP candidate, even though he's super old. Threw for 375 yards, 3 touchdowns. Man, Puka Nacua is a beast. Like, he is an absolute dog. He is. You're right. Like, dude had 13 receptions. He's gone over double-digit receptions multiple times this season. Had 170 yards and a touchdown. He's that blanket option for Matthew Stafford. He goes to him anytime he needs a first down. The dude just puts his head down and goes and gets it. And then to add Devontae Adams, who's probably now your second receiver at his age. And
yeah, absolutely right. He's got to be the wide receiver on that team.
But I mean, you're going to be able to get him open, right? You're going to be able to hit him when you need him if Nacua has a guy over top or he's getting bracketed. And then Kyron Williams is your running back option. That is a stacked offensive team right there. We didn't even talk about Tutu Atwell, who had an 80-yard touchdown to seal the game. Tyler Higbee as your tight end. So kind of where I'm going with this is, the Colts got beat by 7, but to compete at LA, I don't think the Colts are bad.
No.
So I think they're going to continue to hold their own. I think they're going to be a horse in that division, right? It's going to be between kind of them and Jacksonville. Kind of see who comes out of there strong. Jacksonville got themselves a 3-1 big road win at San Francisco. So that was another one, we didn't really talk about, but I thought great games all the way around the NFL. Some surprising teams. A lot of teams are starting to rack up the wins. So for us Cowboys, I know some we were talking about in the AFC, all those teams in the AFC except for Rams, obviously, and we just can't fall too far behind the 8 ball. Can't continue to lose games and think we're going to come back in the later seasons. So tremendous week in the NFL. Loved about everything I saw. Some surprises. Just looking forward to, looking ahead to week 5. So anything you want to add just last before we stop with the NFL week 4?
Yeah. We can hit. Co hit a lay last night. I'll have to throw that on the screen, but just want to throw a poll for the fans, for the viewers. Who's got it worse right now? Would you say the Ravens flock at 1-3 or Cowboys Nation at 1-2-1? Go ahead. We'll put that out, and I want to see what point of view on our fans on who's got it worse, because if the Cowboys are bad, then the Ravens got to be worse at 1-3, right?
100%. You have to go with the Ravens at 1-3 because let's look at expectations, right? The Ravens' expectation is
to win the North.
To win the North. They have to win the North. But they also their expectation at this point is Lamar has to make the Super Bowl. He's got to get through that AFC Championship hurdle. And not to continue to rip on the guy, but at this point, he has not shown up in the biggest games. He hasn't.
We're talking about Dak not showing up big games. Where has Lamar been in the playoffs?
Right. And this is a guy that's winning MVPs. People are voting him as the best player for that season in the National Football League. Some people put him at the number 1 ranking when you do the NFL player rankings. If you're that guy, if you're that dude, if you're going to take that leap, beat Josh Allen, beat Patrick Mahomes, be better than Joe Burrow consistently, where people are not even putting him in the same sentence as you have to show up and start winning those games, right? Their expectation level for the Baltimore Ravens is a lot higher coming into the season than the Dallas Cowboys was. And I think they have to, as a fan base, feel way worse than we do right now. And you know how we feel about it, right? We talked about it. We don't feel great. So that's telling me that they're, another tier lower than us right now. So I love that poll. Please go to that poll, vote on that poll. We'd like to see your input and views on it. And we just really like to see comments. Again, I know we say this, week after week, but we really like to interact with our viewers, our fans. And also feel free to shout out, things that you want to hear us talk about, right? We are a Cowboys Nation podcast. but we will talk about anything and everything ball because we are ball knowers. We have the ball knowledge. We can even debate with anybody. We're not afraid to invite somebody on this one and have about a couple minute debate. We look forward to it. But no, you're going to be going home crying. So love the ideas. Please reach out and just comment on anything and everything.
Yeah, let me end it on a high note. Co did hit a parlay last night. Even though the game did end up in a tie, he hit a $20 to win 368. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 legs on this banger.
Love it. This guy has been on a heater, right? Don't forget this.
Gotta love it.
Don't forget the famous hashtag Co knows, hashtag Co for the community. That's 3 weeks in a row that the How About Them Pod Boys host Co has been on a banger.
He's just giving out free money. He's just giving out free money for the community.
He is. He's truly for you guys as viewers and listeners. And that's, what we can do for you. We can provide opportunities to take a leap, make some money, and do whatever the heck
gain some financial freedom, huh? Yeah. Do whatever you want with it. Just pocket change for you. There you go.
No, I absolutely love it. So that's what we have for you. That wraps up our episode number 8. This episode's called A Tie. Why are we tying in the NFL? But really appreciate you guys joining us. Like always, shout us out on social media, TikTok, Instagram. You can hear us on Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcast. Just check us out. Please shout us out and continue to send out the good Dallas Cowboys word. Appreciate it.